Okay, we are live here at an in-home presentation here in Plainfield, and we have Lizette from Chicago, who is invited by one of our biggest leaders in Mexico, Bertha. And I wanted to ask Lizette something because I think a lot of people may be maybe in the same situation. I've talked to Lizette yesterday on the phone, and it was very touching what she said. And so I wanted to ask you some questions. I wanted to see if you can bring some of that that you said yesterday on the phone. Her experience, she got involved in multiple different companies. She's got an extensive history as far as changing, companies and also demographics of where you live. Yeah. Okay, so when we were on the phone yesterday, you said, "Wow, I finally found something I've been looking for."
Yes.
And then I asked you, well, what was that? Because you watched one of my webinars. So what was it that stuck out to you as far as the information you saw that made you feel like this was the one? Yes. So give us a little history in your background, what you've done in the industry, and why do you feel this is the one for you?
Okay. Yes, I was in a good company. Should I say the name? No. Yeah.
No names. Let's not mention any names.
I was in a real good company. I fell in love with that company. I learned a lot from it. Actually, I was a translator, and that's how I learned about that company, and that's how I started. This was in Mexico. Then I moved back to Chicago, and I had to work as an employee, and it was very hard for me because before I had come back to Chicago, I also had my own business. I had a company. It was for services. I was selling services, and it was a good company because it followed what I learned from that other company, from the networking company. And it was very hard for me. After a while, my husband decided to go to Mexico. Well, we moved to Mexico, and I looked for a business there that I could start my own company, my own business, as a self-employed, with no bosses. So
who wants those?
So yes, I did a lot of research, and as I was doing my research, he decides to move back to another city. Well, to another city in Mexico. So I said, "Oh, he's moving around so much." Then he says, "Let's go to Texas." When I finally found a company in Mexico, he wants to move to Texas. And in Texas, I couldn't sell it because it was the United States. So that stopped me from
So she mentioned no
company.
global opportunity. It was
No
only
global.
stuck in Mexico. We could only build in Mexico. Okay.
Then Bertha calls me. I've just been here for 3 months. Bertha calls me and she tells me that there's this, she wants me to hear and see this website. And I look at it, and I see your webinar, you say?
It was a webinar, a presentation,
The presentation, but I had looked for other companies, other options. But when I saw this, I fell in love with the company. I fell in love the way, the marketing, I fell in love with it, and I am very excited.
And that brought Lizette to the in-home here today, and you obviously heard it one more time.
Yes.
So how much more do you feel this is an opportunity for you that you can build for a long time, perhaps for the rest of your life, in regards to building a residual income? How do you feel after what you saw today?
I love it because if my husband decides to move back and forth and go to Mexico or to Europe or to Hawaii, anywhere he wants to go, because he always mentions Hawaii, I can take my business with me, and that gives me so much excitement. Plus, I love the marketing. I know about this kind of companies, and I know this is the best company to work in.
Wow, that's awesome. And she mentioned something very important: global markets. If your business is not conducting business globally, you're going to be very limited to the amount of people you're going to talk to, the types of people you're going to talk to. And as you do travel, or you need to travel, or you need to move, or go out of state, or obviously out of the country, you should be able to still build your business. And obviously we have that option. We've been doing it since 2001, where we're in 36 countries. We ship in 50 countries. And we are opening up our 37th country and our 38th to follow in the new year, along with Mexico being pioneered by our wonderful distributors over there, led by Bertha. And also we got exciting things happening in Peru. Colombia to follow with everywhere in South America. So you couldn't pick a better time to actually take a look at what we're doing here right now. It's an inspiring story. There's a couple of things you also shared yesterday, but I won't put you on the spot. It was emotional, and it's always gratifying to hear people when they see something that they can sink their teeth in and build it to create that better lifestyle. And we're going to do some wonderful things together. So I'm glad you were here, and I look forward to building a large business, whether you go to Hawaii, or you go to Mexico, or Texas.
I think I'm going to go to Mexico first.
Mexico. But we will be there to help you build that as well, too. So thank you for sharing your story, and then we'll see you maybe in another in-home event. Thank you.